Chapter 1, Ling Xiao stands before the majestic gates of the Ling Xiao sect, his long white hair flowing as he reflects on his journey. He is a transmigrator who, over 100 years, has become the #1 prodigy in the cultivation world, reaching the Great Ascension stage. With his blue eyes glowing fiercely, he declares his cultivation complete, causing a massive, otherworldly gate to materialize as he prepares to face his destiny. The disciples of the sect cheer wildly, shouting that junior brother Ling Xiao has emerged from his seclusion. He floats in the sky, wreathed in golden light and celestial dragons, announcing his intent to undergo the heavenly tribulation and ascend to the immortal realm. The disciples watch in awe, admiring their role model. His master, Fang Qingyun, and his uncle Xuan Yixuanshan appear before him. He asks why they've come when he told them they didn't need to see him off. His master gravely warns him that the 9-9 heavenly tribulation is no simple matter, and that he must be extremely cautious, explaining that it involves enduring 99 strikes of heavenly lightning. Ling Xiao dismissively cuts him off, stating that a mere 99 bolts are of no concern to him. His uncle Xuan scolds him for his arrogance, but Ling Xiao simply agrees casually. Impatient, he tells them not to worry and flies off, promising to ascend to the immortal realm within 3 years. The scene fast-forwards 100,000 years, revealing a desolate landscape under a storm of red lightning. A battle-hardened and muscular Ling Xiao, his clothes in tatters, stands defiant against the heavens. He roars in fury, cursing the heavenly lightning for striking him for 100,000 years when for others, the tribulation lasts 3 years at most. A colossal bolt of lightning strikes him down. He realizes with horror that this prolonged tribulation is not normal. It's erasing his cultivation, but in turn it has tempered his physical body to an unbelievable degree. He understands that his body is being prepared like a vessel for someone else to seize. Vowing that their plan will fail, he declares that they have picked the wrong person to provoke. With a defiant scream, he challenges the heavens to bring it on. He absorbs another massive bolt, coughing up blood but surviving, realizing that the century millennium of tempering has allowed him to refine the tribulation lightning itself. He commands the storm to disperse, and the clouds begin to part. He concludes that someone with immense power deliberately cut off the tribulation the moment they realized he could control it. He swears his Tao heart will never find peace until he hunts down this enemy. He decides to return to his sect to inform them of his survival. As he falls, he discovers his Kai Sea is flooded with heavenly lightning, rendering his cultivation unusable. He channels the raw power, igniting a fiery aura, realizing he can use the lightning to forge a new foundation. Knowing he must refine this power slowly to avoid a fatal backlash, he opts to conserve his energy and travel back on foot. A month later, he arrives at the gates of Lingjing City. The city is in chaos as a man is blasted from the sky. Ling Xiao, now in simple robes, shares a meal with a young blue-haired woman, thanking her and noting how long it's been since he spoke to anyone. She tells him he's the first outsider she has ever met. Feeling an affinity for her, he offers her a favor, materializing a green jade pendant. He instructs her to crush it if she's ever in trouble, promising he will come to her aid. She giggles, saying she needs no help but accepts the pretty pendant. Ling Xiao senses her disbelief but lets it go. He warns her to flee as a powerful fighter in the sky threatens to destroy the city. She scoffs, calling the fighter unimpressive and chastising the mortal Ling Xiao for talking so big. Ling Xiao inwardly notes that his opponent's special eyes must not be fully developed if they can't see his true nature. The girl wistfully mentions that if the former city lord Lan Yunao were alive, this wouldn't be an issue, but he passed away 30 years ago. Ling Xiao is shocked that even a figure like Lan Yunao is gone, a stark reminder of the 100,000 years that have passed. An explosion rocks the city. The attacker, a red-haired man, demands Lan Yunao's core in exchange for sparing the city. A sickly-looking man defiantly refuses, and the attacker commends his courage. The blue-haired girl suddenly appears, calling the attacker noisy. The sickly man, the current city lord, tells someone named Ling to let him handle it. Ling expresses concern for his weakened body, but he orders her to lead the citizens to safety. The red-haired attacker mocks the new city lord for being weak and sickly compared to his predecessor. The city lord says nothing more is needed, declaring it his duty as he gathers purple energy in his hands. It is revealed that the blue-haired girl is the city lord, and she unleashes a swirling blast of purple lightning. The attacker laughs, finding her power more to his liking as their attacks collide in a spectacular explosion. Their battle rages across the sky, a blur of light and energy, culminating in the attacker summoning a massive, fiery beast. The attack results in a devastating explosion. The attacker muses on the interesting power of the heavenly spirit Flower Eye. The city lord coughs up blood, realizing her ultimate attack was ineffective. Ling rushes to her side, urging her to escape to safety. The city lord asks about the man she was fighting. Ling is shocked she doesn't know, identifying him as the infamous Fang Ling Xiao of the Ling Xiao sect, a collector of cultivators' inner cores. She brands him a heartless villain who brought ruin to his own sect before abandoning it. As she urges the city lord to flee, the city lord vanishes. The fake Fang Ling Xiao reappears before the real one, once again demanding Lan Yunao's inner core. The injured city lord defiantly refuses. The impostor reveals a cursed dagger that will explode into shards inside her body, inflicting a fate worse than death. As he lunges, she resigns herself to her fate, her thoughts drifting to the mortal who gave her the jade pendant. The impostor notices a strange energy on her but resolves to kill her first. His attack is suddenly blocked by an invisible force. Ling Xiao appears, catching the collapsing city lord. He tells her unconscious form that he came to repay his debt to her father, Lan Yunao, and to thank her for the meal. He turns to the impostor, stating he now has a personal grudge with him. The city lord awakens, noticing the impostor's pointed ears and realizing he's a demon. Ling Xiao demands to know why a demon is impersonating him and stealing cores. Caught, the demon, Lang Tian, drops his pretense and unleashes his true power, revealing himself as a spirit king realm heavenly flame demon wolf, the immense pressure shocking the city lord. Ling Xiao remains unfazed, simply repeating his question. Lang Tian scoffs, sensing no spiritual energy and dismissing him as a mere body cultivator. The city lord gasps as Ling Xiao vanishes. Lang Tian boasts about the insurmountable gap in their power, but Ling Xiao reappears directly behind him, coolly asking, "So what?" Enraged by his nonchalance, Lang Tian offers him a choice: kneel and beg for the answer, or defeat him to earn it, though he claims the latter is impossible. Before he can finish, Ling Xiao punches him into the ground, remarking that he should have just stated the terms from the beginning instead of wasting time talking. The city lord urges Ling Xiao to flee, believing the demon to be too powerful for any human. Ling Xiao calmly reassures her that it will be a piece of cake. Lang Tian rises from the rubble, his eyes burning with fury, and congratulates Ling Xiao on successfully angering him. He erupts in a pillar of fire, screaming that he's not finished yet. The city lord warns Ling Xiao to watch out as she braces against the unbearable heat, apologizing to her deceased father for failing him. She sees a vision of her father, believing she is dead. Ling Xiao's voice cuts through her despair, praising her strength and telling her she has surpassed her father. She is stunned to see he is completely unharmed. He tells her they can discuss him becoming her godfather later, as he has a gift for her, while the dumb mutt is distracted. Lang Tian is confused by the girl's disappearance when he's suddenly struck from behind, coughing up blood. He is shocked to find himself injured, his protective spiritual aura having vanished. Ling Xiao explains that the city lord's heavenly spirit Flower Eye, when depleted of its own energy, can absorb the core power of others at an astonishing rate, especially pure energy from ancient beasts like him. Lang Tian is stunned that he knows this secret. As he processes this, the city lord sheepishly points out that Ling Xiao's pants have been destroyed. He waves it off, saying a true cultivator doesn't worry about such trivial things. Ling Xiao warns Lang Tian that his core essence is being drained and demands answers. Lang Tian roars that Ling Xiao has underestimated him too, transforming into his massive, true form, a gigantic flaming wolf. Below, the citizens panic at the sight. Lang Tian bellows, telling the insects to savor their despair. The citizens cry for mercy from the Lord Wolf God. Lang Tian roars, asking if they feel despair before his true form. Ling Xiao remains unimpressed, chiding him for the show-off act. He then tells the city lord to stop looking so surprised, as it only encourages the demon. Lang Tian, furious at being ignored, unleashes a massive fire blast to incinerate him, but the flames die out before they can reach him. An impossibly colossal, naked Ling Xiao towers over him, having used a giant transformation art. The citizens below stare in shock at the giant naked man in the sky. Trembling, the demon shrinks before the overwhelming pressure. Ling Xiao returns to his normal size, still naked. Demon Wolf, now a tiny, whimpering pup, begs for his life, promising to tell him everything. Ling Xiao feels the heavenly lightning in his body becoming unstable again, realizing he can't use the absorbed energy yet. The city lord asks if he's all right, and he points to where the tiny beast lies. The pup has fainted from fear. The city lord offers him clothes at her mansion, but he says a single spirit stone is enough to refine some. She produces a tiny stone, explaining it's all she has and that it's worth an entire city. She reveals that the divine bridge to the heavens collapsed 10,000 years ago, drying up the continent's spiritual energy and halting all ascension. Ling Xiao freezes, wondering if he was the cause. The city lord explains that spirit minds are controlled by 3 great sects. While she speaks, the demon pup tries to flee, leaving his spirit stones as an apology. Ling Xiao easily catches him, saying his desperation to escape has only made him more curious. A horned woman in purple appears, asking Lang Tian if he thinks she's made of clay. Lang Tian tries to use a fire technique, but it fails. The woman teases him for trying to run. Lang Tian explains in a flashback that the woman forced him to impersonate Fang Ling Xiao and collect cores for her, planting a death rune in him to ensure his compliance. He tells Ling Xiao she is from the upper realm, capable of ripping space itself. Ling Xiao declares the pup lucky and commands him to serve him as penance. Lang Tian weighs his options and decides serving Ling Xiao is better than the crazy woman. Given the choice to serve or die, he swears an oath of loyalty. Ling Xiao then asks the city lord to find the coordinates for the Ling Xiao Sect's teleportation array. She says the array lacks power, but she can find the location. Ling Xiao takes the coordinates and prepares to leave, telling Lang Tian to behave. Lang Tian senses the woman's terrifying presence approaching. The horned woman appears, mocking Ling Xiao for his crippled state. She tells him returning to his sect is meaningless, then cruelly reveals she has his master's inner core. She recounts that the old man died smiling, muttering Ling Xiao's name with his last breath before throwing the core at him. In a flashback, the woman introduces herself to a captured Lang Tian as Fang Ling Xiao of the Ling Xiao sect. Lang Tian now understands her plot, to have him tarnish Ling Xiao's name and then be killed by the real Ling Xiao, framing the hero and eliminating the witness. The woman, Su Linglong, is shocked at Ling Xiao's speed, recognizing his techniques as those of the undying venerable who sacrificed her own sect to ascend. Ling Xiao coldly states that since her sect had over 10,000 members, he will kill her 10,000 times, promising to show her the true meaning of being torn to pieces. Chapter 2, the purple-haired woman scoffs, telling the white-haired man that it was just a fluke and he sure talks big. He, Fang Ling, retorts that he can't let his clothes get ruined again as he reties his sash. He challenges her, asking her to come on so he can see just how powerful someone from the upper realm really is. The woman's hand glows with purple energy as she unleashes a binding spell, trapping him in a burst of violent light. She explains that her talisman contains the power of laws, and in his current state, he can't move at all. Approaching him with a sinister glow, she threatens that she is going to ask some questions, and that he had better answer honestly, or his body might just explode. To her shock, Fang Ling shatters the purple energy binding him with a flex of his power. She stares in disbelief, wondering why her talisman, powered by the rules of law, isn't working on him. She leaps back, reasoning that he can't fly without spiritual energy and that she needs to create distance. He slams his fist on the ground, announcing that she's trying to run and casting an earth wall technique. A colossal earthen wall erupts from the ground, dwarfing her completely. The woman smirks, thinking him a brute with no real combat experience for trying to catch her with a simple earth-based spell. Her confidence vanishes as she looks up in horror to see that the wall is actually a massive humanoid golem made of rock, looming ominously over her. She stammers, questioning if this could truly be an earth wall technique. Fang Ling appears instantly behind her, asking what she is spacing out for and telling her not to even think about escaping. She spins around, flustered, thinking what a troublesome man he is as she conjures purple energy claws to clash with his glowing blue fist. The impact creates a massive explosion of blue and purple energy, shaking the landscape. Inside a nearby building, a light blue-haired girl feels the massive tremor and wonders what is happening. She decides it must be a fight outside and goes to investigate, telling a small red creature to keep working. The creature, a skyfire wolf, considers taking this chance to flee, reasoning that while he swore loyalty, he never promised to follow him forever. He looks out at the vast, snowy mountains where the battle rages and sees a vision of Fang Ling wielding a massive staff covered in golden talismans, striking down a giant statue with incredible power. Terrified by the display, the wolf quickly decides that maybe he shouldn't run after all. Back at the fight, the purple-haired woman is stunned by Fang Ling's speed, noting that her runes are shattered the instant she casts them. She realizes his body is so tough it can physically break her runes, even without spiritual energy. Fang Ling internally observes that she isn't using divine abilities, concluding this must be just an external incarnation. The woman sweats, understanding now that his body ignores runic law, which must be why her main body is targeting him. Fang Ling decides there is no other useful information to be gained, and since it's only an avatar, there's no need for torture. He gathers immense blue energy, preparing a serious attack, acknowledging that even a clone from the upper realm requires real effort to defeat. The woman looks on, wondering if this is the true power of the so-called upper realm. Suddenly, a brilliant slash of sword Kai appears out of nowhere, catching her by surprise. She yells angrily, asking if he dares to look down on her and vowing to show him what she is really made of. The line of blue sword Kai slices through the air and effortlessly cuts down her clone, which dissolves into particles of light. Elsewhere, the real woman feels the feedback from her clone's destruction, shocked that it was one-shotted by sword Kai imbued with law. She comes to a sudden realization, concluding he must be one of her people, which would explain everything. She laughs maniacally, sending a message through the dissipating energy, telling Fangling Xiao that she will be waiting for him in the upper realm. Fangling looks up at the sky, calmly promising not to worry, because he will be coming for all of them. He examines a glowing purple core left behind by the clone, realizing it was a fake and the whole encounter was a trap to provoke him and test his strength. The blue-haired girl runs up to him, asking if he found the coordinates. She confirms that she just found them right as he returned. He turns to the Skyfire wolf and asks if it didn't run. The wolf quickly denies it, claiming Skyfire wolves are the most loyal, while privately admitting he wouldn't dare be disloyal. The girl explains that the destination is quite far and asks how he plans to get there. He replies that he has his ways as she hands him a slip of paper with the coordinates. He confirms it is far, but now that he knows the location, it's manageable. He calls for the wolf to come with him. The girl asks if he is sure he doesn't want a spirit beast carriage. He declines, stating he has his own way and tells her to keep training hard while he's gone. She agrees, and he tells the wolf it's time to go. He hurls a large pillar into the sky, which transforms into a flying platform, saying he's been wanting to try this for a while. He and the wolf ride the pillar like a surfboard through the clouds, as he declares his return to Ling Xiao Sect. They arrive at a large stone monument marking the sect's entrance. Fang Ling instructs the Skyfire wolf not to reveal their identities and to keep its mouth shut. The wolf agrees, privately hoping the sect isn't a shadow of its former self and that they won't blame it for anything. Fang Ling reassures the wolf that he won't hold anything against it. A voice suddenly yells for them to halt as a young woman with pink and brown hair, Yikingyao, appears. Seeing the wolf, she assumes they are from the Spirit Beast Sect. She introduces herself as the acting head of Ling Xiao Sect and declares that they will not back down today. Fang Ling calmly flies down, telling her she misunderstands and introduces himself as Fang Ling, a rogue cultivator seeking admission. She's taken aback, questioning if he truly wants to join their sect. Internally, she berates her useless sword, wondering why it's not acting according to their deal. As she moves to attack, a sword spirit materializes to deflect her strike, and Fang Ling easily catches her. He asks if she is okay. She coughs, quickly composing herself and claiming it was all just a test for him. Impressed by his speed at the spirit origin stage, and noting their desperate need for people, she welcomes him to Ling Xiao Sect. Fang Ling is confused, thinking he should be at the Foundation establishment stage, and asking what kind of realm spirit origin is. She is shocked that he doesn't even know the basic cultivation stages and questions how he has been cultivating at all. Fang Ling explains that he comes from a minor lineage. Yikingyao recalls seeing Foundation establishment in ancient sect records, realizing it's an ancient cultivation stage from before the Divine Bridge was broken 100,000 years ago. She is stunned that he used ancient methods to reach the spirit origin stage. Fang Ling claims it was just luck and asks about the modern cultivation stages. She explains the modern realms from spirit origin up to the godlike spirit sovereigns who can destroy worlds. Fang Ling reflects on the huge power gap, thinking the modern world has truly entered an age of declining dharma. Yikingyao asks for her artifact back before taking him up the mountain. He returns her sword, commenting that it's a nice artifact and sensing a powerful soul force within it. She says she obtained it by chance and leads him on. The Skyfire wolf quietly asks Fang Ling if he wants it to deal with the soul inside the sword. Fang Ling tells it there's no need yet. They will observe first. A young man named Lai Feng arrives on a large eagle greeting Miss Yi and asking if she is there to pay his senior brother Lai Heoshan's management fee. Yikingyao defiantly declares that she has decided they will not pay any more fees. Lai Feng tells her that's not her decision to make, then notices the Skyfire wolf and tries to recruit Fang Ling to the Spirit Beast Sect, promising a brighter future than with the declining Ling Xiao Sect. Yikingyao angrily accuses him of obstructing their recruitment and now openly trying to steal their new member, declaring she's not a pushover. Lai Feng scoffs and orders his Gale Eagle to teach her a lesson. However, the Skyfire wolf lets out a low growl, telling the eagle to scram, and the massive bird immediately freezes in terror. The Gale Eagle turns and flees, leaving Lai Feng shouting after it in confusion before he too retreats, vowing he will be back. King Yao asks what just happened. Fang Ling casually suggests her powerful aura must have scared them off. She becomes ecstatic, cheering that her 3 years of training have finally paid off, while the wolf privately thinks her incompetence might not be the sole reason for the sect's decline. A young man, Lai Heoshin, appears in a flash of blue energy, asking his junior sister what she is doing. She greets her senior brother, who asks where the Spirit Beast sect members are. She proudly claims her might scared them away and tries to introduce Fang Ling. Lai Heoshin cuts her off, demanding to know exactly what happened. She recounts how she refused to pay the fees and they fled in fear of her power, adding that he should have put the bullies in their place long ago. Ignoring her, Lai Heoshin flies off. She calls after him, annoyed that he left before she could introduce the new disciple, but then tells Fang Ling to come with her to the sect. Meanwhile, Lai Feng flies away, berating his bird for embarrassing him and vowing to have his father slaughter them all. Lai Heoshin appears before him, asking him to wait. Lai Feng angrily tells him to go back, threatening to report this to his father. Lai Heoshin, emanating a dark aura, says forgiveness is possible if Lai Feng's female companion cripples her cultivation, and apologizes in person with all of Ling Xiao sect's belongings. He reveals that his grandfather can now ignore the heavenly Dao contracts. Lai Feng realizes why he's been so bold lately. Lai Heoshin's expression turns murderous, stating that since Lai Feng is messing up his plans, he'll have to kill him to buy time. Lai Feng panics, trying to threaten him with his father's wrath, but is silenced. Later, Lai Heoshin stands alone in a forest, having used a soul search technique on Lai Feng and confirming his story was true. He concludes that he will need to leave Ling Xiao sect soon. Fang Ling arrives at the main sect grounds, finding them strangely empty of disciples. King Yao returns with a timid young man, Lai Xiaofan, whom she introduces as the sect's youngest disciple. She then introduces Fang Ling as the newest member. Fang Ling asks how many people are left in the sect, noting its deserted state. She bluntly replies that there are now 5 of them, just enough for the upcoming tournament, though one member has been missing for a while. Lai Xiaofan explains that other sects have banned anyone from joining them. Fang Ling wonders why their enemies don't just attack directly and asks about the sect's leadership. King Yao says she is tired and will go rest, telling Xiaofan to show Fang Ling around. Xiaofan explains the sect's history. 20 years ago, the old sect master sacrificed himself to sign a heavenly Dao contract that prevents other sects from attacking them proactively. The only remaining elder is gravely injured and in seclusion. After showing him to his quarters, Fang Ling quietly instructs his wolf to do something for him. Later, King Yao is in her room, overcome by a fragrant smoke that puts her to sleep. The spirit from her sword emerges in his true form, a man, who looks over her sleeping form before wondering where everyone else has gone. Lai Xiaofan finishes showing Fang Ling his residence. As Fang Ling wonders where his wolf is, a massive explosion rocks the sect. Lai Xiaofan is horrified to see Lai Heoshin fighting King Yao. Deciding it's too dangerous, he tells Fang Ling to hide before running off himself. Fang Ling smirks, commenting on how much Xiaofan values his life. Lai Heoshin dodges a fire attack, realizing his opponent is in the spirit infant stage and not his junior sister, demanding to know her true identity. The sword spirit possessing King Yao's body says he tried to warn the girl that her senior brother was suspicious, but she wouldn't listen. Lai Heoshin recognizes the sword spirit and pleads with him, claiming Ling Xiao sect is no longer safe and he only wants to take his junior sister and leave. The spirit scoffs, stating that the heavenly Dao contract makes an attack impossible. Lai Heoshin reveals that the old ancestor of the Spirit Beast sect has found a way to bypass it. He confesses that he searched Lai Feng's soul and knows he was telling the truth, concluding they must leave now as they cannot get the key from the girl. The sword spirit realizes he has been caught, calling him a sneaky rat. Lai Heoshin activates a divine movement escape talisman to flee. However, a powerful old man appears behind him, catching the talisman and revealing it is a fake. The ancestor of the Spirit Beast sect declares that since his grandson is dead, the Ling Xiao sect has no reason to exist, and he strikes down Lai Heoshin. The sword spirit is terrified, realizing the ancestor is at least a spirit saint and far beyond his power to handle. The old man turns to the possessed King Yao, telling the little dragon girl that even at her peak she would be no match for him, especially now that she is just a soul form. Just as he prepares to attack, Fang Ling's voice calls out, telling the old man to wait. Fang Ling calmly suggests they talk things out, as it is likely a misunderstanding. The ancestor is perplexed, unable to read Fang Ling or sense any spiritual power from him. Sword Spirit realizes this man is far more powerful than he thought, and that he must escape. The ancestor agrees to talk, saying he has questions of his own. Meanwhile, at the Spirit Beast Sect, Fang Ling's wolf appears in a fiery, humanoid form, declaring he has official permission this time. He erupts in flames, announcing to the bastards of the Spirit Beast Sect that their grandpa Fang Ling Xiao is here. The fiery shout echoes through the Spirit Beast Sect as the members panic, wondering where their elders and Spirit Beasts have gone. The acting leader explains that the beasts refuse to come out, cursing that their combat power is greatly weakened, and wonders why this calamity star has come for them. The transformed wolf, Fang Ling Xiao, appears and demands they hand over 80% of their sect's treasures, and he will leave. Outraged, the leader refuses. Fang Ling Xiao smirks, advising him that he'd best be a little afraid before unleashing a massive wave of fire. The leader is left scorched and defeated, and weakly agrees to give him what he wants. Back at Ling Xiao's sect, the ancestor agrees to talk with Fang Ling. Fang Ling, stalling for time, says the ancestor must first take 2 of his moves. The ancestor agrees, intending to probe the boy's strength. Fang Ling strikes him with a punch that creates a massive red explosion. The ancestor is shocked that he wasn't instantly vaporized, realizing something is off. He emerges from the smoke completely unharmed and asks Fang Ling where his spirit beast is. The ancestor is intrigued, musing that Fang Ling might be worthy enough to meet his senior. Suddenly, a hand covered in red energy appears behind Fang Ling as the ancestor is consumed by a dark power, telling his senior that he'll leave this young friend to him. A new, regal figure appears, commenting on Fang Ling's rare spatial type spirit beast. He notes that Fang Ling has no spiritual power yet took a powerful strike with his body alone, and declares his curiosity is overflowing. He guesses that Fang Ling either sacrificed his cultivation to escape or was backlashed during a possession attempt. He offers to avenge Fang Ling in exchange for his body, introducing himself as the king of the Dragon Clan. A massive, draconic soul looms over Fang Ling, but he scoffs at the idea of revenge from a fusion stage soul barely clinging to life. He says he's more curious how a snake like him dares call himself part of the Dragon Clan. The Sword Spirit, seeing this, decides he must flee. The Dragon King warns him not to run or he will die. The Sword Spirit is frozen by an intense bloodline suppression and realizes in horror that the man before him is the legendary Dragon Sovereign, Lai Yi. Lai Yi is surprised to be remembered. The Sword Spirit asks how he can be alive after 10,000 years. Realizing they are ancient refugees, Lai Yi unleashes a burst of red energy, freeing Yi Qingyao from the possession. As she asks what's happening, an ancient soul within Lai Yi's body, Xiaolong, explains that he miscalculated and must now lend Lai Yi his power to restore his peak state before falling asleep. He gives one final warning. This time, he must not fight but run. The Dragon King is stunned to see Lai Yi not only become younger, but also break through to the nascent soul stage. Lai Yi scoffs at the idea of running, telling the Dragon King that he has become timid with age. Now returned to his peak, Lai Yi declares they have nothing more to talk about. The terrified Sword Spirit watches, thinking that now he understands why this man could suppress the entire Dragon Clan for 1,000 years, and hopes this gives him a chance to escape. Lai Yi challenges the Dragon King to a test of strength. They clash, and Lai Yi blocks an attack, recognizing it as law power. He comments that the Dragon King seems unfamiliar with using laws. The Dragon King scoffs at his arrogance and unleashes a torrent of what Lai Yi recognizes as ancient dragon flame. Blasted back by the fire, Lai Yi notes that it's similar to, but not true, dragon fire. He summons a tall, ornate tower to defend himself. Crying out for his tower as it takes the hit, he wonders if its power is diminished due to the thin spiritual energy of the era. The Dragon King declares that even at half power, the artifact is more than enough to deal with him. Enraged, Lai Yi prepares to retaliate. The Dragon King recognizes the tower is made of priceless divine sandalwood and cries out that it's super expensive. As his consciousness begins to fade, Lai Yi is confused, wondering if that is the name of some special move. In a flashback, a sect master coldly informs a younger Lai Yi that his spiritual roots are destroyed and he must leave the sect as they do not support the useless. Despite Lai Yi's protest that he was injured for the sect, he is cast out. His brother Liu King comforts him, telling him not to worry and that fortunes can change. Onlookers explain that King was raised by Lai Yi's parents. Later, Lai Yi returns home to find his parents murdered with King present. King drops his fabricated story of an evil cultivator, smirks, and coldly admits that he was the one who killed them. A horrified Lai Yi demands to know why. King explains that Lai Yi's constant success and luck made his own Dao heart unstable, so he had to be eliminated. As a dying Lai Yi questions the point of it all, the scene shifts back to the present. The Dragon King is bound in ropes as Lai Yi demands 999 high-grade spirit stones to repair his tower, and an answer to one question in exchange for his life. The Dragon King, realizing he cannot escape, decides he must live for revenge and ascension. He admits defeat and accepts all of Lai Yi's conditions, to which Lai Yi simply scoffs. Chapter 3. The old, bearded man demanded to know who Fangling Xiao was, but Fangling Xiao retorted that the real question was how the old man had been resurrected. The old man, recognizing Fangling Xiao was also not from the current era, questioned his pretense. Fangling Xiao, confused, asked who the old man thought resurrected him. The old man was stunned, finding it impossible that Fangling Xiao managed to revive on his own, especially since he detected no spiritual fluctuations from him. Fangling Xiao, ignoring the questions, demanded his own be answered. The old man, inspecting him closer, confirmed he was at the foundation establishment stage, but was shocked to find his danchan completely empty of spiritual energy. He found a tiny presence of energy, which he identified as lightning. A surge of energy erupted from Fangling Xiao, revealing the lightning was a sentient tribulation spirit in the form of a celestial dragon. The old man panicked, realizing his divine sense and soul were being refined by the power. As Fangling Xiao silently endured the process, the old man yelled at him to speak. Fangling Xiao suddenly lunged forward, grabbing the old man by the neck and threatening to use special methods on him. The old man immediately surrendered, thanking the senior for saving his life and finally offering to talk. He revealed that in his chest was an artificial core, similar to a needle, which was the source of his resurrection. This core, however, came at the price of being under the complete control of the person who revived him. He described this mysterious person as someone from another world, dressed strangely, who could wield the power of laws without any spiritual energy. The core allowed him to be revived, but prevented him from absorbing spiritual energy from the world. He explained that the spiritual energy he used earlier was borrowed from Fangling Xiao's power, which had blocked his master's control. He confessed he came to the Ling Xiao sect for one final reason. This, he stated, would determine whether Fangling Xiao killed him. He claimed to have no ill intent, but revealed that the sect's senior disciple was not actually one of their own. He explained that due to the constraints of the heavenly Tao, he wouldn't be able to harm a true member of the Ling Xiao sect within its grounds. His true purpose was to retrieve a treasure capable of reconstructing a one-time divine bridge. If he successfully ascended, he could escape his master's control. He then mentioned the Grand Immortal Realm Tournament, where Fangling Xiao would meet the man himself and understand everything. Fangling Xiao was surprised to hear the tournament was held every 500 years, a fact that was no longer true. The old man corrected him, explaining that since the divine bridge broke and spiritual energy thinned, lifespans were capped at 1,000 years, so the tournament now happened every 30 years. This confirmed Fangling Xiao was from a much older era. Having shared everything, the old man asked if he could leave. Fangling Xiao ordered his small red companion, Doggo, to untie him. Before leaving, the old man warned him to be wary of outsiders and that he would see him at the tournament. This solidified Fangling Xiao's decision to attend. Suddenly, he let out a scream, remembering the young woman in the tower. He found her amidst the rubble of the collapsed structure. She asked what happened, and he quickly lied, blaming it on a massive earthquake. She lamented the sect's poverty, now made worse by the tower's destruction, but her spirits lifted at the thought of the immortal tournament prize, confidently stating that with her talent, she would surely win first place. Fangling Xiao privately thought she was surprisingly easy to fool and resolved to strengthen his own power, contemplating whether he should take a certain treasure. Elsewhere, an injured man felt a tracking mark on him activate. A new, powerful figure appeared, introducing himself as Immortal King, an envoy from the celestial realm. With just his aura, King slammed the man into the ground, demanding respect. At the same time, the old man who spoke with Fangling Xiao felt his own tracking mark disappear and stopped in his tracks. He was confronted by a small girl riding a giant chick-like creature, who asked if he was there to be taken back. She dismissively called him a mere test subject, not even worth their time, and revealed that the celestial realm had sent down an envoy, a half-step golden immortal he was quite familiar with. She told him the envoy's name was Liu King, which caused the old man's face to contort in shock and rage. Back in his chamber, Fangling Xiao was frustrated, having found that 2,000 high-grade spirit stones were not enough for him to advance, his danchan feeling like a bottomless pit. He decided he would have to take out that item. He summoned Doggo, tasking the creature to guard the sect for a few days while he was away. Fangling Xiao descended deep beneath the sect into a vast ancient chamber. He found a stone tablet inscribed with a message specifically stating that Fangling Xiao and dogs were not allowed inside. Annoyed, he scoffed that his name was Fang Ling, not Ling Xiao, and proceeded further in, finding only a single suspicious-looking box. He acknowledged it looked like a trap, but decided he needed its contents to achieve a breakthrough. As he reached for it, a cloaked figure appeared behind him, remarking that his personality was still the same as when they first met. The figure presented him with an incomplete glowing blue core, explaining that it was his. The figure, whose voice was female, told him it was only one part of his core, with 4 more scattered across the world. These fragments sealed not only his past life's cultivation, but something else as well. The woman told him that once he absorbed the core, he would understand everything. She revealed her name was Bai Lai before her avatar dissipated, promising it wouldn't be long before they met again. As soon as he touched the core, Fang Ling Xiao's cultivation surged, breaking through to the golden core stage as the core accelerated his absorption of heavenly thunder energy. A sharp pain shot through his head as a flood of memories overwhelmed him. He saw flashes of Bai Lai in a strange, chaotic dimension, explaining that true ascension required the physical body as a vessel, unlike the current method of abandoning it. She insisted he had to start over. In the memory, despite his pleas for her to wait for him, she stated that he was smarter than her and sacrificed herself to send him back, telling him not to go. He awoke from the vision, shirtless and more powerful, finding a set of clothes, a note, and Bai Lai's earring waiting for him. He resolved to first stabilize his new realm. Meanwhile, Doggo was training when a dark, shadowy figure appeared, demanding to know Fang Ling Xiao's whereabouts. Doggo recognized the intruder's powerful law energy and resolved to stall for time. When the intruder, Liu King, grew impatient, Doggo unleashed a torrent of skyfire. Liu King was unimpressed, identifying Doggo as a rare skyfire demon wolf and summoning his own massive white snake, Xiao Bai, to devour him. Watching from a distance, a horned girl, the last of the dragon clan, hesitated to intervene, prioritizing her own survival. Doggo sent her a telepathic message, berating her cowardice and reminding her that she was the last hope of her clan. Shamed into action, she transformed into a magnificent golden dragon. The dragon battled Liu King's snake. Suddenly, another man appeared, identifying the dragon's opponent as Liu King. This newcomer, Lai Yi, was mockingly greeted by Liu King, who noted his increased strength but called him brainless before effortlessly immobilizing him with the power of rules. At that moment, the small girl on the giant chick descended, addressing Liu King as Kid and telling him to follow the rules. She then turned to Lai Yi, telling him that if he wanted revenge, he should meet them at the Immortal World Competition in a month. She extended the invitation to Doggo and the dragon and instructed the dragon girl to pass a message to Fang Ling Xiao. He could join their immortal palace to seek his revenge. With that, she and Liu King departed. 1 month later, at the Ling Xiao sect, the senior sister and Doggo fretted. Fang Ling Xiao had not returned, and they were short on participants for the tournament. Just then, a mysterious white-haired woman with small horns appeared and offered to join them. They traveled to Jing City, the tournament's location. The city lord was abruptly informed of terrible news and rushed outside to see that the entire city had been lifted into the sky. At the tournament grounds, disciples from various sects gathered. One of the participants, a red-haired man, spoke with his junior sister, noting how the disciples from other sects seemed preoccupied. He revealed a dark secret about the tournament. Participants never retained their memories of it, and people always went missing. The only one from the lower realms who ever discovered the truth was the late Lan Yunao, whose upright nature led to his death, implying the tournament was a trap set by the celestial realm. The rules for the celestial tournament were announced: either defeat the envoy or survive for 12 hours. The grand prize was the Ascension treasure. As the tournament began, a female envoy appeared in the sky and, without a word, unleashed a cataclysmic wave of fire that incinerated countless cultivators below. One elder defiantly challenged her but was instantly engulfed in the sacrificial flames. The remaining survivors fought back. Lai Yi managed to trap the envoy in a time barrier, but she remained calm. From afar, Liu King chided her for underestimating her opponents. He then declared that he never said there was only one envoy. A second, far more powerful presence descended, a true immortal's avatar. The formless celestial being looked down upon the chaos and initiated a devastating technique, Teksu Gizang. It created a dimensional collapse, a miniature black hole that began to consume the floating city. Doggo explained to the others that escape was impossible, as the technique didn't destroy but rather downgraded dimensions into a singularity. Back in Jing City, the city lord watched in horror, realizing that evacuating the citizens had been a futile gesture against such overwhelming power. Chapter 4, the white-haired woman, surrounded by crackling blue lightning, calmly states that her law is space, and her opponent's divine ability is useless against her. The woman in green, held in a man's embrace, warns her that if she can't find a way to win, both she and the entire continent will vanish. The white-haired woman concedes the point, admitting her own second-level Dharma body would be wasted on this foe and that her avatar's energy is running low. Deciding on a swift conclusion, she prepares for a quick fight. Her opponent scoffs, calling it pretentious nonsense, but is suddenly struck by an uneasy feeling that fills her with confusion. She struggles to place the sensation, wondering if it could be what she fears, though she dismisses it as impossible. Her eyes then widen in sheer terror as she identifies the power at play as causality. Multiple shimmering versions of her appear, bound by chains of green light, as she screams at the white-haired woman, calling her a maniac for daring to use the law of causality and asking if she isn't terrified of the inevitable backlash. Behind the white-haired woman, a colossal, ghostly figure materializes, the very embodiment of the cycle of reincarnation and the causality she now commands. She explains that within the timeline, the new target of the heavens' return is the woman in green, who cries out in disbelief at her inability to resist this fate. The white-haired woman coldly declares that her opponent's ending is to be devoured by the heavens' return and die. The green-robed woman screams in denial, insisting that this is not her causality and that it has been unjustly forced upon her. As dark, shadowy energy consumes her, she lets out a final, agonizing scream, questioning how a true immortal like herself could be rendered so meaningless. Elsewhere, a small girl with white hair and pointed ears desperately calls out to her sister, telling her not to sleep. A red-haired man asks what she means, confused because he thought the messenger had already been defeated. The girl, her eyes wide with horror, explains that her sister's very existence has been erased and realizes that time itself has been reversed. Her companions are baffled, asking what she means by sister, and stating that the conflict is already over. Another voice announces that the Immortal Realm competition has concluded. The pointy-eared girl glares into the distance, angered by the reckless tampering with causality, a clear sign of disrespect towards the Immortal Palace. A massive, serpentine dragon of white energy emerges from the clouds, its rider declaring their obedience to the will of heaven. A colossal, glowing eye appears in the sky, identifying itself as an agent of the Immortal Palace and roaring that the reckless manipulation of causality is an unforgivable crime. The onlookers panic. The red-haired man says they're screwed, and the girl fears they will all be dragged into this new conflict. The energy dragon lunges forward with immense force, causing a blue-haired girl to cry out for Senior Fang. The creature unleashes a powerful attack meant to suppress everything, yet the blue-haired girl is shocked to find herself unharmed, wondering if Senior Fang saved her. Another white-haired woman appears, clarifying that it was not Senior Fang. She explains she saved them on Fang Lingshuang's behalf and will keep the jade pendant, warning them to stay away from Fang Lingshuang from now on, reflecting that she would not have used the law of causality if the girl hadn't crushed the pendant. She tells them they are safe now and teleports them away, urging a quick departure as the blue-haired girl offers her thanks. In a desolate, ruined landscape, a man curses the reverse-order practitioner who caused the destruction. The red-haired man curses that the sealed messenger escaped too quickly and wonders why the sky is suddenly darkening. A blade of pure energy slices down from above. A man with brown hair blocks the strike, impressed that an external body has reached such a level of power. Finding the display impressive, he calls upon his heaven-swallowing gourd, commanding it to enlarge. A massive golden disc rises from the earth, resonating with the stars, as a system message announces the activation of a second-level Dharma body, star resonance. Colossal celestial sword made of blue energy materializes in the cosmos, poised high above a planet where a swirling red energy sphere attacks the user below. The brown-haired man taunts his opponent, noting their preference for quick fights but declaring it useless against his treasure. He confidently states that his enemy is almost out of energy. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupts, shattering his confidence. He finds it impossible as a blue energy attack strikes and he realizes his opponent's avatar has exhausted its energy. The victorious white-haired woman stands over the battlefield, declaring her next move is to erase everyone present and sever all causal ties. A dark energy creature looms behind the survivors as she muses that while they are merely ants, taking them back for experiments after erasing their causality has its appeal. She adds that the one from the upper realm would make good material for false cores, as he had been curious about their body structure. The brown-haired woman scoffs, realizing the fake inner cores were the protagonists doing all along. Just then, Xiao appears in a crackle of lightning, commenting that he didn't arrive too late, prompting his red-haired subordinate to cry out his name, "Boss!" Xiao explains that the teleportation jade pendant activated the moment he stabilized his cultivation, calling it perfect timing. It adds that memories from his past life have helped him regain some of his divine abilities. The brown-haired woman threatens him, saying he'd better be there to join them or else. As she asks what the alternative is, he grabs her arm, his hand glowing with golden light as he unleashes a technique called the Setting Sun Lifeless Sword. Looking her dead in the eye, he coldly asks if the alternative is that she will die for him. The woman recoils in shock, her main body having been damaged. She can't comprehend how a mere golden core cultivator could wield an ancient divine ability used to slay gods, and questions if he is truly a heavenly Tao immortal body, unaffected by its laws. Ling Xiao smirks, remarking that it's always the case that when you beat the small one, the big one shows up, and that it's time for him to leave the stage to the lightning-bold guy. Enraged, the woman screams at him for daring to look down on her, declaring that even if she must perish with him, she will make him pay as she unleashes a massive fiery explosion, vowing to take the world down with her. Ling Xiao calmly counters, creating a serene realm of pure energy he calls the Hengmeng world without tribulation, and invites her to disappear together with him. Trapped in a void, the woman asks where they are. Ling Xiao stands in a field of white flowers and states that in this realm, he is the heavenly Tao. He calmly holds a flower and a small, fluffy creature, watching as the blossom turns to dust in his hand. Ling Xiao's red-haired subordinate exclaims that the boss is far too powerful. He instructs their dog-like companion to flee, as it would only get in the way. They both run, shouting that the boss ordered them to get as far away as possible, leaving another onlooker to wonder why even people from the heavenly realm are fleeing so quickly. The small, fluffy creature asks Ling Xiao to teach it his amazing power, but he gently tells the little yellow chick to rest for now, and it vanishes as a shadowy figure arrives. The figure remarks that the heavenly Tao plays favorites, lamenting that despite trapping Ling Xiao in a time crevice, he has only grown more powerful. Ling Xiao sighs, noting that 30 years have passed in 12 hours and time is running out. He reflects that things would be different if Lanyan Ao hadn't severed the divine bridge. The shadowy figure states that there is just enough time and offers Ling Xiao two choices. The first is to join them with the possibility of getting his inner core back, while the other option is simply death. Ling Xiao considers that getting his core back directly is tempting, but then clenches his fist, declaring that what he hates most is being threatened. He unleashes a powerful technique, proclaiming that the 4 poles will tilt and the 5 sacred mountains will descend. A massive, glowing green mountain, Buzhu Mountain, materializes from thin air. A shadowy figure wielding a dark axe appears and cleaves the mountain's peak, sending the massive rock hurtling toward his enemy. The shadowy figure watches, expecting Ling Xiao to have taken some damage from the counterattack. However, the attack is blocked by a blue energy shield, and a new man appears, demanding to know why the shadowy figure is using his master's life-bound divine power. The figure casually explains that it's because he absorbed the master's inner core, finding it incredible that such a frail old man possessed such a powerful offensive technique. He then reveals that he is curious about the location of Buzhu Mountain and the place called Earth, mentioning that the newcomer's master, Fang Qingyun, wished to see them on his deathbed. Enraged, the newcomer lunges forward, calling the figure a bastard who deserves to die, and unleashes a furious barrage of icy slashes while screaming that he deserves to die 10,000 times over. A flashback begins, showing a younger Ling Xiao with his master, Fang Qingyun, who has just broken through to the Great Ascension stage and asks for help naming his new divine power. Ling Xiao finds it ridiculous, but his master insists his comprehension as a heavenly Tao immortal body is superior. Ling Xiao agrees to help after his master describes the power as a towering, majestic mountain, for which he has yet to find a suitable name. Ling Xiao suggests the most badass mountain he knows, Buzhu Mountain, the primordial relic that supports heaven and stabilizes Earth. The master admits his power can only mimic its form and asks if it's the mountain from Earth that Ling Xiao described. Ling Xiao confirms it, though he admits it's from myth, and describes Earth as a magical, peaceful place. The master expresses his wish to see it one day, and Ling Xiao promises to take him there after achieving the supreme Tao. The master laughs, calling him a fine disciple, before advising the powerful Ling Xiao not to carry too much karmic bloodshed. Back in the present, Ling Xiao reflects on his master's gentle words, which seem so unsuited for this violent world. In another battle, a combatant realizes his opponent is not Fang Ling's Xiao just as he springs a trap, declaring the power is now his, and he will offer his inner core in exchange. He uses a celestial spirit flower eye technique, underestimating his foe's resilience thanks to Fang Ling's Xiao's strong former body. He expects his enemy to be vulnerable from a soul search backlash, but is shocked to find the soul was not sealed and that there is a second soul within the body. A massive surge of blue energy erupts as a voice screams in agony, crying out for energy and deciding to consume the other soul. A new consciousness manifests within Ling Xiao's body, identifying the intruder as the being from the intermediate layer. It recognizes the foe is only a consciousness and cannot use divine powers. A golden-haired woman, the palace master, appears to her subordinate, Shadow, informing him that he has failed. Shadow apologizes, admitting he didn't expect a safety measure to be in place. The palace master recalls him, deciding they need a long-term plan as the situation has changed. The soul inside Ling Xiao's body screams that it doesn't have enough energy. The palace master finds the situation troublesome but also amusing, watching as the two souls clash. The blue soul rampages, screaming for more energy and punching the air as if chasing something unseen. Ling Xiao's subordinate watches from afar, confused by his actions. The soul continues its frantic assault on empty space with a flurry of punches, all while the palace master watches with a cold expression, seeing her subordinate's soul get pummeled. The blue soul continues its relentless attack, culminating in a final strike with a boundary-breaking spear. He shouts to get him and unleashes a beam of energy into the sky with a smirk. The beaten Shadow appears before his palace master, who asks what happened. Shadow's soul cries out for her to save him, but she dismisses him as noisy, stating she cannot waste power on Fang Ling's Xiao with the sequence war so close. She coldly states she cannot afford any losses as Ling Xiao's soul prepares to capture Shadow's essence. The blue soul ensnares Shadow, who screams in agony. The palace master glares, questioning Ling Xiao's audacity as Shadow continues to scream, begging his master not to waste her energy on him. The palace master watches impassively and warns Fang Ling's Xiao to just wait as his soul refines the captured energy. Back in his body, Ling Xiao feels himself break through to a new level. He addresses the dark, shadowy remnant of an inner core, telling it to come out, confirming his suspicion. The core's consciousness laments becoming his pill's slave, and Ling Xiao demands to know where the rest of his cores are. The soul knows it cannot lie without being destroyed and devises a plan to trap him in the city of Dao Burning, a place where all techniques perish, and asks if he is scared. It explains that all who enter become mortal, their cultivation converted to currency, and that even they cannot retrieve the core located there. Ling Xiao agrees that the place sounds tricky. The soul reveals its plan to seize his body in that place, but Ling Xiao sees through it, confirming he will go there but will leave a shred of the soul's consciousness behind first, stating he won't waste time on nonsense as he absorbs the rest of it. Elsewhere, the palace master Liang Guang reflects on her failed schemes, scoffing that the sequence struggle isn't for him to join. She believes his fate is sealed and he should give up before losing more, but clenches her fist, declaring she cannot turn back and must win at all costs. In another scene, a brown-haired young man laments that his plan is ruined, wondering if it was bad luck or destiny. His subordinate informs the second young master that the plan has failed and it's time to go home. The young master dismisses it as pointless now, questioning if his subordinate would have only acted if his life was truly in danger. The subordinate confirms his orders from the city lord were absolute, adding that the young master has enough treasures to survive. The young master sighs, saying he's serious and agrees to leave, arriving at Wudao town outside Fendow City. An old beggar immediately approaches Ling Xiao, offering to teach him an unbeatable divine technique for a few blue spirit coins. Ling Xiao declines, offering food instead. A young girl accosts the beggar for scamming people, who protests he is the city lord's brother, a claim she easily refutes. The girl warns Ling Xiao not to trust him or flash his money around, before being called away by a friend. The beggar then tries his pitch on Ling Xiao's young companion. Ling Xiao notes the beggar's surprisingly high level as a divine body cultivator. The girl reappears to warn them off again as the beggar desperately lowers his price, eventually settling on being their guide. Ling Xiao's companion asks why he was the only one brought along, and Ling Xiao explains it's because he's weak and needs a chance encounter to grow. Ling Xiao tells his companion not to feel pressured, and that others needed to stay to guard their sect. The beggar offers his guide services for 2 blue spirit coins, which Ling Xiao finds a ripoff. He agrees to the deal on the condition that the second coin is paid after entry, and food and lodging are included. They shake on it. Ling Xiao's companion is shocked at the price, but senses the beggar's power, hoping to gain something from him. He's amazed Ling Xiao can still sense cultivation levels here. The beggar explains the entry fees for Fendow City, and notes the high purity of Ling Xiao's coins, assuming he sacrificed much cultivation for them. The beggar concludes Ling Xiao must be very powerful. Ling Xiao boasts that he used to be able to one-punch a true immortal. The beggar scoffs, so Ling Xiao revises his claim to 2 or 3 punches. When Ling Xiao asks if he's actually seen a true immortal, the beggar denies it, calling them monsters. As they walk, Ling Xiao's companion remarks that a new cultivator would be turned to dust by a mere glance from such a being. They decide to rest on the long road. Ling Xiao then asks his companion if he knows who that being was, revealing that he was the one who removed the mark that very immortal had placed on him, saving his life. The companion glares at him, suspecting it was all part of a larger scheme. Ling Xiao sighs, lamenting being treated as a villain for helping someone. His companion vows to find a way to kill him once they reach Fendow City, and Ling Xiao calmly replies that he will be waiting. Chapter 5. An attendant gestures for Fang Ling Xiao and Liu to follow, asking them to come this way. As they walk, another man recognizes Liu as a beggar and questions how he got money for booze again. Liu boasts that this time is different, as he has found a real patron, a walking money tree, and demands 2 premium rooms with a good view. The attendant confirms their request, saying he has a rooftop seat ready for them upstairs. Meanwhile, a senior's voice speaks to Liu from within his mind, sighing that he ended up using the inner core's power after all, and Liu is surprised that the senior has awakened. The senior urgently warns Liu that he must leave at once, because Fang Ling Xiao has arrived. Liu tries to reassure the senior, saying they are acquaintances and that Fang Ling Xiao shouldn't make things difficult for them. The senior calls him a fool, reminding him that he stole a celestial being for personal revenge, and that getting involved with Fang Ling Xiao's terrifying karmic ties would be a death sentence, as Fang Ling Xiao can read the very rules of heaven. The immense pressure of this realization shocks Liu as he wonders if it's that serious. Liu, now alone again, tries to speak to the attendant, asking if it wouldn't be inconvenient. He looks around, confused, wondering where the senior went. The attendant reassures them that their meal will be ready soon, and the group sits down at a table. As others eat, Fang Ling Xiao sits silently, noticing that his cultivation has been suppressed ever since he arrived in town, pondering if it's due to an external force or a formation. Liu, the beggar, offers to answer any questions the 2 deities might have. Fang Ling Xiao asks how far it is to Burning Dao City, and Liu replies that it is not far and they should arrive by tomorrow. Liu then asks which sect the 2 gentlemen hail from. Fang Ling Xiao introduces himself and his young companion as being from the Ling Xiao sect, then points to himself and introduces himself as the sect's founder, Fang Ling Xiao. Liu is shocked, recognizing the name as the one who survived the heavenly tribulation after being struck by lightning for 100,000 years, remarking that it's very impressive he's still alive. Fang Ling Xiao nonchalantly replies that he was just lucky. He then asks Liu which sect he trained under and how he ended up in his current state. Liu explains he's a rogue cultivator who once had sky-piercing cultivation but lost it all in the Burning Dao region, saved only by his powerful physical body where his power remains sealed. An attendant brings them their food, and the group looks at the spread, with Liu laughing that he's gotten lucky today. Liu then excuses himself to go relieve himself, telling the other 2 to eat first. Half an hour later, the young disciple, Xiao Fan, decides he will go check on Liu, who tells him to hurry back or he'll eat everything. As Xiao Fan walks, he feels a heavy spiritual pressure. He bumps into a woman who stumbles back from the impact, shocking Xiao Fan by how heavy she felt. He looks up and sees she is part of a group wearing the emblem of the Cloud Crane sect, one of the 3 major sects. Her junior brother, Huai Feng, sneers at Xiao Fan, calling him a bug at the Kai refining stage who's looking for death. But the woman tells him not to cause trouble as their elder is waiting. Huai Feng dismisses the encounter, saying a bug just hit him, and tells Xiao Fan to scram. As they walk away, a powerful whirlwind of energy erupts behind them as Fang Ling Xiao appears, calling out to his grandmaster. Xiao Fan's senior brother checks if he's all right before turning to Fang Ling Xiao and calling him a bastard. A woman from the Cloud Crane sect tells Fang Ling Xiao to stop right there, but he ignores her, his gaze fixed on her junior brother. She warns her junior brother not to be rude, noting internally that Fang Ling Xiao's movement and cultivation are surprisingly high for a land of mortals. Fang Ling Xiao's hand crackles with golden energy as he declares that he didn't join a sect to play nice, and if he wanted to reason with people, he wouldn't be cultivating immortality. Huai Feng, the junior brother, angrily asks if he knows who he is and how he dares to look down on him. Fang Ling Xiao coolly asks who he is, stating that if he hadn't spoken, he'd have thought he was just some stray dog by the road. Huai Feng, infuriated, declares that he is Huai Feng, the next holy son of the Flying Crane Sect. Ling Xiao laughs, mocking the Flying Crane Sect for ending up with a gem like him. He remarks on Feng's confidence in his sect, and when Feng asks what he means, Ling Xiao states that to him, the sect is no different from a stray dog on the roadside. Feng is left speechless by the insult, while his master, an elderly man, suddenly appears, remarking on Ling Xiao's arrogance and asking if Feng really thinks his sect has no one. The master declares that the insolent brat is lacking in manners, while Ling Xiao retorts that when you beat the pup, the old dog comes running. A character for death appears as the master attacks with a golden energy strike, but Ling Xiao effortlessly deflects it, shocking the master. Ling Xiao suggests they take the fight to the sky to avoid disturbing the people below, moving so fast the master can't even react. The master unleashes a feather-based attack called Moonlight Returning to the Feathers, but Ling Xiao dodges and appears behind him in a flurry of his own feathers and energy. The master, panting, wonders who this person is, admitting his cultivation is far above his own and that even his sect leader has never made him feel such pressure. Ling Xiao tells the master not to worry, as he and the sect leader go way back, and he'll spare his life before unleashing his life-bound sword. Sword in the clouds. Ling Xiao commends him on his nice flying sword before casually catching it. The master is horrified to find that his life-bound sword was instantly refined by Ling Xiao, causing him to drop in realm. Ling Xiao then slaps him across the face, causing him to drop in realm again. The master, now thoroughly beaten, addresses Ling Xiao as senior, stating that the Flying Crane Sect is reasonable and that this was their fault, offering the life-bound sword as compensation. Ling Xiao agrees but mentions there was one thing his disciples said that he liked. When the master asks what that was, Ling Xiao declares that if one has to reason things out, why bother cultivating immortality, releasing an immense pressure that forces the master to his knees. The master calls out as he and his disciples are sent plummeting back to the ground. Ling Xiao tells them not to panic, as he said he wouldn't kill them. Before stating his own reasoning, they use status to suppress people, so he will use strength to suppress them. He then tells the fallen disciple that he knows who he should be apologizing to. Xiao Fan speaks up, telling his grandmaster that he's fine and they should just forget it, as the other disciple didn't actually do anything to him. Ling Xiao sighs at his uselessness, asking Xiao Fan what he would have done if he hadn't been there. Under Ling Xiao's truth command spell, Feng involuntarily confesses that he would have pretended to listen to his senior sister, then come back at night to find a chance to kill him. Feng is horrified that he said that out loud, while Ling Xiao explains it was just a little trick and asks what he's thinking now. Ling Xiao then pats Xiao Fan on the shoulder, telling him not to be afraid because the Ling Xiao sect is now under his protection. Liu, watching from a distance, muses on how interesting it is that the Fated One cares so much for disciple he barely knows. Xiao Fan tells his ancestor to just forget it, insisting he is fine. A life-and-death battle is declared between Xiao Fan and the kid from the Flying Crane Sect. Ling Xiao tells Xiao Fan he cannot protect him forever and hands him a life-bound sword, a replica of his own cloud sword, telling him to take it. The battle begins. Feng tells Xiao Fan that this is his ancestor's command, so he shouldn't say he was bullied. Xiao Fan charges forward, telling his opponent to take his sword. Their blades clash, and Feng unleashes his flying crane sword technique. Xiao Fan, overwhelmed, wonders if he is really going to die, his eyes glowing with a sudden crimson light as a violent energy erupts from his body, blasting Feng back. Ling Xiao watches, noting that as expected, his true potential can only awaken in desperation. Feng, struggling against the new power, exclaims that it's impossible. Xiao Fan, now enveloped in dark energy, strikes again, but his power suddenly backfires, causing him to cough up blood and collapse. This triggers a memory from his childhood, where his family is confronted by bandits. A bandit leader offers 1 coin for his mother, declaring he will take her as his camp wife. The bandit mockingly asks if they aren't afraid of the immortals on the mountain, but his subordinate replies that the Ling Xiao sect is almost annihilated and has no time to care about them. Xiao Fan's mother cries out for her husband, as a young Xiao Fan emerges, telling the bandits to let go of his mother. His parents shout for him to run. One of the bandits notes that the little girl is pretty and that the boss is lucky. As the bandit leader approaches, Xiao Fan's mother stands in his way, vowing to fight him to the death and telling Xiao Fan to run. The bandit leader shoves her aside, calling her a stupid woman. Enraged, Xiao Fan grabs a kitchen knife. The bandit leader mocks the little brat, threatening to ruin him and sell him to a brothel, but Xiao Fan lunges forward and stabs him in the heart. The other bandits shout in shock, vowing to kill the brat to avenge their boss. As they charge, dark energy erupts from Xiao Fan, killing them all in a bloody spray. His mother, mortally wounded in the chaos, holds him, her own dark energy flaring as she tells him she can't control herself. She tells him to sleep, and it will be better, reassuring him that she isn't lying when he pleads with her not to die. As she fades, she tells him he is a good child and that in the future he must still be a good person, her last wish being to see him grow up. Half an hour later, an old man with a long white beard arrives at the tragic scene, lamenting the human tragedy. He notices the child is still alive and wonders if he is the crucial cog in fate, feeling pity for the boy born with an evil body. Deciding he doesn't have much time left, he performs the myriad phenomena reversal seal to suppress the boy's power, coughing as his own body can barely hold on. He reflects on his 10-year struggle after being gravely injured, sad that he didn't live to see that idiot survive the tribulation. He notes the young girl is quite pretty, though not as pretty as his own daughter, and decides to help her one last time, believing a beauty always attracts calamity. The flashback ends as the battle continues, with the awakened Xiao Fan unleashing the moonlight returning to the feathers technique with a proficiency far beyond Hui Feng's. Hui Feng panics, thinking he is going to die, but Fang Ling Xiao intervenes, deflecting the attack and saving him. He tells them they can all leave as he promised not to take their lives. Hui Feng and his master depart, vowing revenge. Fang Ling Xiao turns his attention back to the raging Xiao Fan, who's chanting "kill you" over and over, and decides to see who it was that sealed him. He enters Xiao Fan's inner world, a vast purple expanse, and finds a spirit. The spirit, with heavenly spirit flower pupils, recognizes him as Lan Yunao. Lan Yunao is shocked to see Fang Ling Xiao is still alive after 100,000 years. Fang Ling Xiao explains that his heavenly spirit flower pupil grants him a lifespan equal to heaven and earth. He notes that Lan Yunao looks like he's been through a lot, and that his chaotic memories have made him less human and less interesting. Lan Yunao shows his injuries, a hole in his chest and a missing eye, explaining his power was mostly used to shatter the godly bridge, and he's just been clinging to a miserable existence. He decides to stop struggling and leave the rest to Fang Ling Xiao, handing over a wisp of Xiao Fan's clear mind, and explaining that the boy is an important gear in his plan to overthrow heaven and earth. Fang Ling Xiao asks if there is any way to save him, but Lan Yunao says it's too late. He states his last bit of soul power is for arranging his final appearance, transforming into his younger, handsome self so he doesn't leave the world looking like a mess. He reminisces about their past adventures, fighting demon beasts together. A flashback shows them bickering, with Lan Yunao complaining that Fang Ling Xiao is just showing off because he's one realm higher. But another companion, Miss Kang Yu, gives Lan Yunao a demon core, which he appreciates. Fang Ling Xiao tells Kang Yu to stop rewarding him, and Lan Yunao accuses him of being jealous. The memory fades, and Lan Yunao asks if his daughter is okay. Fang Ling Xiao assures him that she is fine and very safe. Satisfied, Lan Yunao's spirit begins to dissipate, declaring that he only wasted his life for his friend, Fang Ling Xiao, not for the indifferent god he has become. Fang Ling Xiao is left holding the wisp of Xiao Fan's soul, reflecting that Lan Yunao was right about him becoming increasingly indifferent to emotions. He turns to face the evil demon within Xiao Fan's inner world, which manifests as a shadowy creature, noting that his physical strength has no advantage here. The demon declares it will torture him to death, but Fang Ling Xiao finds it unimpressive. Suddenly, he senses a more powerful aura as countless shadow demons emerge from pools of darkness. They swarm him, but he notices they are slowly regenerating after being destroyed, realizing he can't kill them because they are endless. He deduces that without the suppression of the heavenly spirit flower pupil, the evil demon has gone berserk. Since they are all soul bodies, he summons the coiling dragon cauldron to refine them all. The demons scream as they are pulled into the cauldron's vortex. They quickly change strategy, reaggregating to summon their main body, a massive, crimson, monstrous form that shatters the cauldron. The demon marvels that a broken soul like Lan Yunao could comprehend such a powerful refining method, then turns to Fang Ling Xiao, asking who he is. Fang Ling Xiao identifies it as a demon aggregate and prepares to fight. The demon attacks, but Fang Ling Xiao moves quickly. The demon unleashes its full power, a sequence-level divine power called the Hengmeng Blood Fiend's Small World. Fang Ling Xiao counters with his own sequence-level power, the Hengmeng Calamity-Free Small World, surprising the demon that he can use such a power despite being a bit slow. Inside the blood-red world, Fang Ling Xiao finds he can't use any spiritual power. The demon explains that his heavenly Tao immortal body can ignore rules outside, but this is its world. It boasts of killing many such immortal bodies over the past million years, shocking Fangling Xiao, who wonders how an evil demon inside the young Xiao fan could be a million years old. The demon explains that the evil body is not innate. It chose Xiao fan's mother as its host. It probes Fangling Xiao's soul, intending to see what trump cards he has, and discovers a remnant of heavenly lightning within his inner world. It finds this strange and decides to enter his deepest inner world to see what else lies there. It pushes deeper into his consciousness, only to be met with a vast, empty void surrounding a single, calm eye crackling with lightning, finding nothing inside. Chapter 6. A bloody, monstrous figure demands to know who the newcomer is. Xiao Fan, a white-haired woman in this spiritual space, looks up in surprise at the red entity, questioning what it is. The red entity roars, asking who dares disturb its mortal tribulation, and comments on the newcomer's aura, noting they have also tried to ascend to the position of a sequence. Thinking that one must have skill to survive the sequence war, it again demands to know who has appeared. A calm, white-haired man, Fangling Xiao, materializes within Xiao Fan's consciousness and introduces himself. The red entity is shocked by his overwhelming soul strength, which it recognizes as being at the sequence level, far beyond what a heavenly Tao immortal body should possess. Fangling Xiao identifies himself as the first sect master of the Ling Xiao sect, and adds that he can also be called Duzun. He then attacks with a flash of light, obliterating the red entity's soul clone. Elsewhere, a more human-like red figure reels back in shock, exclaiming that his soul clone was destroyed. He wonders if the person was the Ling Xiao sect's first sect master, Fang Qingyun, but dismisses the idea as their personality, strength, and appearance do not match. Within Xiao Fan's soul space, Fangling Xiao explains that the entity has been sleeping deep within the soul ever since absorbing the inner core, and it seems Xiao Fan has finally met it. The red entity shouts in disbelief, asking if he is truly Fangling Xiao, finding it impossible since he believes King Xiandao and Lianguang should have already sent him into the rift to be fed to Lizu. As he speaks these names, he clutches his head in pain, realizing with alarm that his karma is being affected because he just revealed a heavenly secret. He desperately forms an avatar to protect himself. Fangling Xiao looks on calmly, thinking that the being inside his disciple must be a fallen sequence god. The red entity, now in a more humanoid form, asks Xiao Fan's body why it is just standing there stunned. He notes that while Fangling Xiao cannot use soul-based divine abilities, his own soul is now greatly damaged, but he considers himself lucky to have stolen a wisp of soul when the small world shattered and immediately performs a soul assimilation. He declares that he has now assimilated himself with Xiao Fan's life gate. With a smirk, he threatens Fangling Xiao, stating that if he dies, she dies, and asks what he will do now. The two confront each other in a bloody, ethereal space. After a moment of silence, Fangling Xiao observes that it seems the fellow inside his disciple will not take the initiative to help her. He calmly asks the red entity if, by controlling Xiao Fan's soul, he's planning to drag him down into a mutual death. The entity confirms this, tauntingly asking if he is really going to kill his own grand disciple. The red entity declares that he bet correctly. He gloats that no matter how strong Fangling Xiao is, his inability to abandon his last shred of humanity is his greatest weakness, just like it was for Lan Yunao. He tells Fangling Xiao that since he is helpless, he should just die, lunging forward to attack Xiao Fan's form. As he is about to strike, Fangling Xiao's hand pierces through his chest from behind, splattering blood everywhere. The entity looks down in shock at the hand protruding from his torso, then glares back at Fangling Xiao with a pained expression. Fangling Xiao holds him in place, asking the dying entity why he pretended he could not bear to harm Xiao Fan, stating that he seems to misunderstand him quite a bit. He clarifies that he was not pretending, but was simply contemplating the entity's desire to live. He explains that with Xiao Fan about to die and the entity connected to her life gate, he knew the entity's strong will to survive would compel him to act. He coldly states that no one cherishes their life more than the entity, and therefore, he knew the entity would save her. The entity realizes with horror that from the very beginning, Fangling Xiao deliberately let him take that wisp of soul. He observes Fangling Xiao's expression, noting with dread that his divinity has completely surpassed his humanity. The red entity, realizing he has been outplayed, states that it seems he bet correctly after all, though he now feels cornered. Fangling Xiao asks him what else he knows about the people from the upper realm he mentioned, Lianguang, King Xiandao, and Lizu. The entity scoffs that he has nothing to say. With his final moments, his form begins to dissipate as he begs Fangling Xiao to please leave now, With a final, explosive burst of energy, the soul's space shatters. Xiao Fan's consciousness is expelled, and he wonders if he was thrown out. He finds himself back in his physical body, being held by an old man, and asks where he is, noting to himself that he went berserk again. The old man comforts him, telling him not to worry and that from now on his evil body will not go berserk. The old man says let's go, and Xiao Fan agrees, leaving a strange, shadowy creature behind. The shadowy creature, Ying, watches them leave, cursing that he could not even get rid of him and wondering if the ancient evil demon is really this useless. It then notices Xiao Fan staring directly at it and pauses in confusion, wondering if the beggar can see it. It's shocked, realizing the boy definitely sees it and questions how that is possible. Xiao Fan addresses the shadow directly, identifying it as Ying and advising it to behave and not get any funny ideas. Ying floats forward, demanding to know how Xiao Fan knows who it is. Xiao Fan replies that it seems Ying has forgotten the punch from back then. Ying remembers, shouting out the name Liu Qingshan and realizing it is the guy from the Celestial Realm Grand Tournament 70,000 years ago. Xiao Fan warns Ying to watch itself, stating that although he has no cultivation now, Ying is just a remnant soul. The next day, Xiao Fan and the old man walk through a desolate area filled with downtrodden people. Xiao Fan asks who these people are, and the old man explains they are the withered, cultivators who gambled away their cultivation for blue essence coins until they became useless husks waiting to die. Xiao Fan asks if they are like Liu Qingshan, who stares back and says he is a little different. Suddenly, a man rushes forward and grabs the old man's leg, begging for help. He identifies himself as the holy son of the divine Shenling Sect and pleads for a few blue essence coins, promising to repay them later. The old man thinks that he cannot give the man coins or the others will swarm him, but he also cannot kill them without being noticed. The old man harshly tells the man to scram. Liu Qingshan tells Xiao Fan to ignore them, explaining that these guys are not worth pitying and will just take any money to go back to gambling. The man on the ground screams in anguish, questioning why they will not help him and calling them sanctimonious hypocrites. He wails about the 1,000 years he has been there, on the verge of death and unreconciled with his fate, descending into madness as Liu Qingshan advises Xiao Fan to ignore him. The old man asks how it came to this. Liu Qingshan explains that Fendow City's mechanism only absorbs cultivation, not lifespan, and these people are unwilling to become ordinary after losing their power and purpose. Xiao Fan reflects on this, wondering why 1,000 years felt like nothing to him during his 100,000-year lightning tribulation. 3 men approach, and their leader Wang Zhang tells Liu Qingshan he should be rewarded with blue essence coins for solving a problem. Another man tells Liu to hand over the fat sheep, Xiao Fan and the old man, in exchange for less trouble. Liu calmly states that he is just doing a little business. The man then threatens them, saying they should at least give them some coins out of respect for their past status as saints. The old man, Fangling Xiao, glares and utters a single word, scram. The man is sent flying back by an invisible force. His companion asks their boss why he stopped moving. The boss senses a terrifying aura, noting it is not weaker than the city lords, and thinking the newcomer might really be able to overturn Fendow City. They arrive at a large teleportation array. Liu Qingshan explains that because Fendow City is a small world, they can only enter through the array. At the gate, a guard informs them the entry fee is 3 blue essence coins per person, 9 in total. Xiao Fan objects, but the guard is dismissive, so the old man calmly hands over the coins. The guard notes the high purity of their coins and asks if it is their first time here. The old man confirms that it is. The guard offers to introduce them to a place to get rich, but the old man simply asks if they can go in now. The guard mutters about ungrateful bastards and gestures for them to enter the portal. As they leave, another guard comments on the rarity of such pure coins. The first guard, Elder Feng, advises his subordinate not to be greedy, as the newcomers seem extraordinary. The subordinate argues that the city's restrictions make them harmless and suggests they shake them down for money tonight, confidently stating that even a dragon has to coil up for them in Fendow City. Elder Feng thinks to himself that good words cannot persuade a ghost destined to die. The group emerges into the outer city of Fendow City. Xiao Fan looks around, remarking that it is not as majestic as he imagined. Liu Qingshan clarifies that this is just the outer city, and the inner city is different. The old man mentally communicates with the shadow, Ying, asking where the inner core is, noting that his cultivation is completely sealed. Ying replies that it is in the treasury of the city lord's mansion. The old man concludes that their plan is to find a way into the inner city. He then asks Liu Qingshan how to get there, and Liu tells him to look up. When the old man sees nothing, Liu explains that the inner city is hidden in the sky, and entry requires a capital verification and a recommendation. A man overhears them and offers a recommendation. The old man dismisses the idea, saying he will just try to jump up there tonight. The man calls out to them again, announcing news from the city lord. He explains that the second young master is returning, a grand banquet will be held, and everyone will be exempt from 1 month's residency fee. The crowd erupts in excitement. The old man asks about the blue essence coins, and Liu Qingshan explains they can be directly converted into cultivation, unlike spirit stones, allowing one to become a true immortal without cultivating. The old man reflects on these artificially created immortals, finding them similar to the fake inner cores of the heavenly realm, and senses a deep secret regarding Fendow City's connection to it. Inside a grand hall, a city lord tells his son that he never had any hope for him regarding the Ling Xiao Sect treasure. He gives him a new task: investigate a newly arrived cultivator with extremely pure spiritual energy and stay on standby in the outer city. Later, Liu Qingshan bids farewell to Xiao Fan. Xiao Fan hands him a pouch with 10 blue essence coins. Liu Qingshan thanks him and promises his help in the future. Xiao Fan tells him they can talk after he recovers his strength. A young man, Lai Heishan, recognizes Xiao Fan and greets him as senior brother. Xiao Fan is happy to see him and asks why he left the Ling Xiao sect. Lai Heishan jokes that he returned home to inherit the family business. He notices the old man behind Xiao Fan looks familiar. Xiao Fan introduces him as their ancestor, Fang Ling Xiao. Lai Heishan says he understands and thinks to himself that Xiao Fan was the variable in his plan. Xiao Fan asks what he means by lose, but Lai Heishan dismisses it and offers to find them a place to stay. He instructs his subordinate, King Feng, to find them lodging. As they are led away, the old man, Fang Ling Xiao, observes that King Feng is a sword immortal and concludes that Lai Heishan's identity is not simple. They arrive at a large estate. After King Feng leaves, a young girl quietly follows Xiao Fan into a courtyard. She calls out to the master before lunging with a fiery magical artifact, revealing herself as the girl from Wudao Town and an immortal. She exclaims that he really is an immortal, as Fang Ling Xiao wonders what she is doing. The girl then kowtows, begging the immortal master to teach her how to cultivate. The girl explains she has been watching him and knows he is a powerful immortal, offering him a magical artifact if he takes her as a disciple. Fang Ling Xiao says he is not taking disciples because he is too lazy. She persists, showing him a glowing orb and asking him to take a look. He takes it, sensing a familiar aura. The girl says it was a gift from her grandfather, and Fang Ling Xiao realizes the artifact is a small world, which is why he could not detect it. He asks why her grandfather, who must have been a cultivator, did not teach her. She explains her grandfather was not a cultivator and received the artifact as a gift. Knowing that wealth brings trouble, she decided it was better to exchange it for a chance to cultivate rather than have it stolen. Fang Ling Xiao agrees to take the artifact. He tells her cultivation depends on talent and that he will take her in after they leave Fendow City, which she happily accepts. He instructs her to follow Xiao Fan so he can check her aptitude, then tells them both to rest, as something big might happen tonight. Late at night, Fang Ling Xiao stands alone, planning to take the inner core quietly and hoping for no accidents. He leaps into the air to begin his mission. As he flies, a loud crash echoes behind him and a massive energy blade slices through the air toward him. He turns to block it with his own blade, creating a massive shockwave. The attacker, a man in a wide-brimmed hat, demands to know who he is. Fang Ling Xiao recognizes him as the sword immortal from earlier, who is shocked that Fang Ling Xiao can use his cultivation and decides to retreat. The sword immortal watches Fang Ling Xiao attempt to flee and scoffs, declaring there is no way he will escape. He pursues him, commenting on his fast movement technique, but vowing he will not get away. He unleashes a spirit-trapping sword array, surrounding Fang Ling Xiao with dozens of glowing blades. Fang Ling Xiao clicks his tongue in annoyance as he is caught within the array. The sword immortal is surprised that the array, designed for body cultivators, did not harm his opponent's strong physical body. He tells Fang Ling Xiao he has caused a huge disaster by shattering the sky canopy. Fang Ling Xiao realizes he can no longer hold back. The sword immortal correctly guesses that Fang Ling Xiao is afraid of destroying the town with his full power, and declares he is not leaving today. Fang Ling Xiao unleashes his own power, calling upon Heng Meng and manifesting his myriad sword Small World, filling the sky with countless giant glowing blades ready for battle. Chapter 7. The white-haired man, surrounded by blue energy, wonders aloud if another sequence-level divine power is something cheap. The dark-haired man, wreathed in his own crackling blue energy, retorts that it isn't cheap and correctly assumes his opponent has had the fortune of meeting another sequence candidate. He continues that the fact the white-haired man is still alive means he must have successfully taken care of that candidate. The white-haired man looks pensive, repeating the term sequence candidate to himself. He reflects on the many inexplicable things he's seen, such as fake inner cores and blue essence coins, and questions what in the world has happened during the 100,000 years he was gone. As he contemplates the blue essence coins and sequence candidates, the dark-haired man prepares an attack. A massive formation of dark, jagged blades materializes in the air, glowing with intense blue power. The dark-haired man scolds his opponent for being so careless after entering his domain, stating that it seems he isn't being taken seriously before unleashing a technique he calls Hungmang Myriad Blades. A swirling vortex of countless blades closes in on the white-haired man, who stands unfazed in the center. With a look of utter boredom, he asks if his opponent is done yet. The blades then surge towards him from every direction. As the attack is about to hit, the white-haired man is struck by a sudden feeling of irritation, wondering what its cause is. The dark-haired man is shocked by his foe's terrifying physical strength and is further stunned to sense the aura of heavenly lightning on him, questioning what is happening. With a surge of power, the white-haired man's aura erupts, shattering the incoming blades and cracking the very fabric of space around him. The dark-haired man recognizes that the space itself has been shattered, seeing it as a good chance to act. The white-haired man moves in a blur, lunging forward with immense speed. The dark-haired man, his face now a ghostly white mask, notes how bizarre his opponent is and resolves to report the encounter to the city lord. He senses that Fendow City is truly about to undergo a change. Elsewhere, a man in a brown robe lands on a rooftop, expressing relief at finally being out. He, along with a white-bearded elder and a young girl, are confronted by a group of guards. One of the guards asks who they are, stating they are there for a routine luggage inspection. Another guard scoffs at their meager flatbread, wondering how people living in such a fine place could have so little. He then declares that the flatbreads will be subject to a tax of 20 blue essence coins. The brown-robed man asks what money he is referring to. The guard clarifies that it's a tax of 2 blue essence coins per flatbread, internally grumbling that this group was supposed to be a big fish, but turned out to be poor. The young girl angrily shouts that this is extortion and they won't give them anything, threatening that her master will beat them to death when he returns. The leader of the guards looks down from above, calling the girl a disrespectful little brat and a mere mortal. He questions how a low-level cultivator and a mortal could enter Fendow City, concluding they must have snuck in, and orders his men to search their belongings. He then points to the girl, commanding his bald subordinate, Lay Lai, to cripple her limbs and throw her out of the city. The girl defiantly shouts at them not to dare. Lay Lai smirks as he steps forward to carry out the order. Before he can act, he is sent flying by a powerful, unseen force. A brilliant flash of white light erupts on the rooftop. The girl and the elder cry out in relief, calling for their master and grand ancestor as a figure with long white hair materializes in the light. The white-haired man, his eyes now glowing red with rage, declares that he was already holding in a nameless fire in his belly and has decided to take it out on them.